Good morning. How is everyone? I believe we are live. Just double checking. Yes, I think we are live. And I just want to make sure that you can hear me. So if you can hear me, please let me know in the comments. And I'm just super excited to be here with you all today. We are starting a whole new challenge today. It's so exciting. We just wrapped up our 10-day self-love challenge last week, and we are just continuing on with all the goodness and starting up a whole nother challenge today. So just checking in to see if you can hear me. I'm hoping you can hear me. So welcome. Okay, good. Okay, you can hear me. Yay. Okay. Thank you so much, Lisa. Praise the Lord. I have a slightly different setup today, and I just wanted to make sure. Okay, thank you so much for letting me know. And my dear sister, Lisa, is in the house, which is amazing. So we are here. We are here to get things going in our amazing 10-day self-love revolution, self-love in relationship. So exciting. And I'm going to say hello to Debbie's here and Joe is here. So exciting. Wendy is here. Amazing. So grateful that so many of you amazing, wonderful light workers, beings of the light are here. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for being here. You are all just amazing. Okay, so we just finished up last week our really powerful 10-day self-love challenge. And just to quickly review, because these will also help us in what we're doing today. Oh, and Christina's here. Hello, Christina. So glad you're here. So last week, we took a really deep dive into 10 days of our self-love practices. We talked about self-love intentions, self-love affirmations, presence with yourself, spending time with yourself, acting from your own values, privileging your dreams, keeping your eyes on the prize, not settling for what is not in alignment with your precious dreams, pivoting, releasing, surrendering, letting go of what is not being called for, acting from faith, not fear, and participating only in loving interactions. So that's what we were really moving through together over the past 10 days. So now, so exciting, we're starting on day 1 of this new challenge. And this new challenge is about how do we really strengthen, maintain, nurture our own precious self-love in an intimate relationship, in a close partnership. How do we do that? So this topic is so precious to me because I'm in the middle of learning how to do that. This is one of my big growth points for myself right now. So I'm so excited to talk about this and what I've been learning. And I would so love to hear what you've been learning about all of this and what you've been applying in your life. And let's just keep coming together and sharing our hard-earned learnings and expansions with each other so that we can all fully be in our self-love, whether it's just us and we're not in relationship, or if we also are in an intimate relationship, how do we really again, nurture our own self-love in an intimate relationship. So that is what we're talking about in this next challenge over the next 10 days. So exciting. And so the 10-day challenge for self-love in relationship will be today through Friday, and then next week, Monday through Friday. So we will conclude next Friday, May 13th. So, oh my goodness, my beautiful sisters and brothers, this is such an expansion for me. So, one of the reasons I'm just so really, really passionate about self-love and why I just love to talk about it, and I mentioned this quite a bit over the past challenge. The reason is that I did not live in self-love for most of my life. I very much lived outside of self-love, and I created somewhat a catastrophic life for myself because of not living in self-love. So self-love has absolutely revolutionized my life. And pretty much from when I started a self-love practice, which was about 6 years ago, my life started to really transform. And last week I talked a lot about an amazing book. If you don't have it, I would suggest getting it if it resonates for you. The book is called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. And this book came into my possession about 6 years ago when I was going through one of the hardest periods of my life to date. I was in a very, very challenging, difficult, super acrimonious custody case with my then husband. I was also going through a very big, dark night of the soul. A lot was coming up, a lot of trauma. I was very much alone, etc. Very difficult point in my life. And we usually, when we hit rock bottom, is when we are really seeking, and when the universe starts to really match our seeking and give us the tools that we need. So this is when self-love really came into my life, and it absolutely has transformed my life. And I think for me, it is the most important practice that I do is self-love. So we just finished these 10 days of self-love, and a lot of it was really just focused on our own relationship with ourselves. So today we are starting day 1 of self-love in relationship. And of course, this is about how do we really, really preserve, maintain, nurture our self-love when we also love deeply someone else. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And so just a little personal context about all of this. So as I was saying, I went through this divorce about 6 years ago, and then I was alone for about 3.5 to 4 years. And this is when I really, really dug deep into my own self-love practices. And as I said, my life really transformed. And then what happened is a beautiful man came into my life, my partner. And I met him about 2 years ago. And so over these 2 years, and especially this past year, I have really been finding my way in terms of my own self-love in relationship with my partner. And as I said, this is a really big growth point for me. Okay, hi Jamie, I'm so glad you're here. So yeah, this is one of the biggest things that I'm working right now in my growth is exactly what we're talking about. And to be honest, it has been very challenging for me. Very challenging for me. Before I entered this relationship, I thought I got it. I got self-love. I got it. I've been practicing it now for 4 years. I'm feeling it. I feel really together with self-love. I've mastered self-love. Nothing could ever take me out of my self-love. I got it. I got it. I got it. Okay. Well, no, I didn't. I didn't have it because once someone came into my life, my partner, who I had so much love for and so much attraction and so much connection, I learned, oh, this is a whole different ball game now. This is a whole different ball game to remain in my self-love when I have so much pull to this other person. And of course, we all know in relationships there's going to be conflict, right? There's going to be areas of disagreement. There's going to be areas that require compromise, cooperation, etc. So what I found is I went into a very default position for me. Maybe some of you can really resonate with this. I, at times in my relationship with my partner, went into a default position of abandoning myself. This is what I did for many, 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 many years before I went through my awakening and my dark night of the soul and my self-love practices. I abandoned myself. That's how I learned or was also socialized to get along in relationships. My previous framework for getting along in relationships was truly just to abandon myself and really just try to be whatever the other person seemed to want me to be. And so I would just disappear. So this at times is what happened in my current relationship over the past 2 years. I went into some old default behavioral patterns of mine, of abandoning myself, of wanting to avoid conflict, of fear of abandonment with my partner. All these things came up. So it has been, I would say, a very uncomfortable journey with this. And I have learned so much. And I'm still really in the thick of really, really, really grounding into self-love in an intimate relationship. And I would love to hear what your experience with this is. So how are you feeling about your own self-love just on your own? And then if you are in an intimate partnership relationship, how are you feeling about your self-love within the relationship when there's someone else there who really gets your attention and who you really, really love and you really want it to work out and it feels very high stakes? So if anyone wants to share anything around what I've been sharing so far, I'd love to hear. I just think it's really interesting to really think about, okay, what is my self-love like when I'm alone and it's just me? And what is my self-love like when I'm interacting with my partner, who I also really love? So that's what we're talking about in this challenge. And I know we're all going to share and learn and really ground into our self-love in relationship. And just to take a step back, all of this is under our amazing self-love revolution. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. We can all be self-love ambassadors. And my belief is this is really how we change the world, through practicing self-love. Okay, so the main benefits of this challenge are the following. We are going to really remember how to practice self-love masterfully while we are in a close relationship. That's the first benefit. We're going to really remember. I say remember because we all know this deep within us. And there's just layers of socialization that we're just removing. And everything we're talking about really is a remembrance. We all know this. We all know these truths about self-love. I just want to say Debbie has a really great comment. Okay, so Debbie says, I sometimes lack the time that I used to have for self-love practices, but I'm learning to make it more of a priority now. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is such a good point. That is one of the issues that comes up, right? When we are totally alone and not with a partner, we have more time. We have more time to focus on our partnership with ourselves, spending time with ourselves, all of those practices. And when we have a partner come in, they're so wonderful and we want to spend time with them that we can sort of forget or just not be quite as focused on our own self-love practices. So Debbie, this is such a great point that you make. I love that you brought this up. This is a really a foundational point, is making time to continue our own self-love practices while we are in relationship. That is such a great point. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so the three main benefits of this challenge, as I was saying, are number one, we're going to learn how to practice self-love masterfully while we are in relationship. Number two, we're going to really remember how not to lose ourselves. And if that verb doesn't resonate with you, just throw it away. For me, that verb does resonate. I have sort of a default orientation of losing myself in relationship. If any of you are familiar with the South Node, North Node in astrology, my South Node is in Libra. Libra is also my sun sign. So I have a lot of experience, a lot of past lives in relationship. That's a very normal, familiar orientation for me to be in relationship. And it's easy for me to get lost in relationship. So this lifetime, I'm really here to learn how to really balance that, to really be my own person and have a relationship. Joe, thank you so much for your amazing comment. Joe says, I've always wanted attention and validation, not needed it, but wanted it. In a relationship with self-love, I find that I don't need it so much because I can do it. When my partner gives it to me, it's the icing on the cake, whereas I used to never even have a cake to speak of. Me too. Yes, I so get it. Thank you so much for sharing this. This is absolutely what my experience has been too. I was always looking on the external for the validation, for the love, for the attention, and just thinking, oh, it's out there. It's out there. But what an amazing revolution for us to know, no, it's right here. It's right here. Everything we need is right here. Everything else is icing on the cake. And then also, of course, the as within, so without truth of the universe is that as we practice more self-love, we will actually see more love on the external. So we will get the more love on the external as well. But we have to start with ourselves. And then the third thing we're going to really remember through this 10-day challenge is how our self-love not only elevates ourselves, but it elevates our partner and the relationship. So this has also been a really big learning for me too. I might have thought, my thinking mind might have thought, oh, if I'm really focused on self-love, is that somehow taking something away from my partner? Am I not giving my partner enough? Is that hurting my partner or our relationship? No, it's really the opposite. It's really the opposite. In part because you're modeling. You are modeling. When you are showing up in self love, your partner sees this and can be very inspired to do the same. And often with our intimate partners, we are mirroring each other. And so whatever we are doing, they are also going to end up doing. So as we heal, they heal. As we release, they release. As we come back to our remembrance of more self-love, so do they. So self-love in the end only elevates your own experience, ultimately your partner's own experience, and ultimately the relationship. A relationship between two people that rests on a foundation of each person practicing self-love, you got it made. You got it made. That is going to be a heavenly, peaceful, harmonious relationship. You've got it made. So this is just such an amazing relationship practice is self-love. It benefits you, it benefits your partner, it benefits your relationship. So let me know what you all think about that. And I'm just going to take a quick look at the comments. Jamie says, you are the cake. You are the tasty cake. Yes, you are the tasty cake. You yourself are the tasty cake, 100%. Beautiful. Okay, so now, if it's all right, I'm going to go through the 10, I'll give an overview of the 10 practices that we're going to do each day of this 10-day challenge around really nurturing our self-love in relationship. And then we will talk about the first day's practice after I just give you the overview. Okay, so number one, and this is what we're going to be talking about today. Number one, fearless, radical commitment to your own happiness. Oh, how does that sound? How does that sound? How does that sound in your body? Fearless, radical commitment to your own happiness. Oh my goodness. I know for me, it almost feels like I can't breathe. I feel so excited when I say that. I have permission to have a fearless, radical commitment to my own happiness. That sounds amazing. Yes, please sign me up. Okay, so that's practice number one, which we're going to talk about more in a few minutes. Practice number two, this is what we'll do tomorrow. You and only you are responsible for your life, including your happiness. Practice number three, fearless, radical commitment to your human and your human's needs and desires. So the reason this is so important to me is that, okay, we're all on this beautiful awakening ascension path. We all know the spiritual perspective. We all know that everything is always happening for highest and best and for our expansion. At the same time, we are in a human body. At the same time, we have human feelings, human dreams, human preferences, human needs and desires. So in our relationships, I'm suggesting that a very powerful form of self-love is a radical commitment to your human's needs. And this is a bit different than your overall spiritual perspective, that whatever happens is highest and best, and we are going to go through challenges, etc. But to also really, really honor your human and honor your human in your relationship with your partner. Okay, number 4, this practice is honoring that your relationship is every moment of your interaction. Every moment that you are interacting is the relationship. Every moment. This means if you are hurt, or your partner is hurt, or there's a conflict, or there's something tricky happening between you, that's your relationship right there in the middle of that. It isn't after, once you've reestablished peace and harmony. It's in every moment of your relationship. So part of the invitation of the evolution of relationship on the planet is to be very mindful of how are we interacting in every moment of our relationship. Is there love here? Is there patience here? Is there openness here? Is there transparency? Is there vulnerability here? Your relationship is happening in every moment. Okay, number 5, the 5th practice. This is related to what we just said as the 4th practice. Number 5, love is a verb. Love is a verb. Love is a verb. It's also a noun, but it is a verb as well. So what I mean by this is I love you, I love you, I love you. This phrase, it's wonderful to hear that someone loves you. It's wonderful to say that to someone, but are we showing up in love? And are we showing up in love in a way that is meaningful to the partner, to your partner? So we all have heard of love languages. And so all of us, from our own childhood, from our own past lives, from our own preferences, from the way we're wired, we all have preferences and different things that are meaningful for us in relationship. So love is a verb. Are we showing up in love for the other person in the way that is really important and meaningful to them? We've got some great comments here. Thank you all so much. I love everything you're saying. Christina, thank you for this beautiful mantra. I embody self-love and bring it along in my cells into all my relationships. So beautiful. Thank you so much for that wisdom. Beautiful. And Debbie says, actions speak louder than words. Yes, right? They do. They really, really do. It is important what someone says. And we, of course, always want to receive and speak in ways that are loving. But yes, how are we actually showing up? How is our partner actually showing up for us? So love is a verb. Okay, beautiful. Number 6, the 6th practice here, fearless, radical commitment to healthy communication. This has been a really ongoing expansion for myself and my partner in our interactions, our communication. And in fact, we created a course around this. I'll share the link. Some of you, I think, have seen it. It's called the Namaste Method. It's a lot of principles around healthy communication, peaceful communication. And one of the backbones, and we talked about this last week, is active listening. Active listening. So we'll talk a lot more about this on day 6, but healthy communication. Because again, the relationship is in every moment, right? And communication is a really big piece of any relationship. So we want to cultivate super healthy, loving communication. Okay, practice number 7 is honoring that the truth always serves everyone in the end. This is a really important self-love practice in relationship for both partners. We're talking about truth. We're talking about honesty. We're talking about transparency. We're talking about speaking the truth, especially when it may be uncomfortable for the other person. This is tricky. This is really, really, really tricky. I just want to pause. Wendy has a great comment. I believe when you're in a relationship, you shouldn't stay if the other doesn't make you feel in love and at home. There will be arguments. How you work through that determines how you will continue. Yes. Oh my goodness. So much wisdom here, Wendy. Thank you so much for sharing that. In my experiences, my PhD is literally in marriage and family therapy. And in my experiences working with couples, the relationship can really be made or broken with the communication, with how you move through differences, how you move through conflict. I see it over and over again. There's an amazing therapist. His name is John Gottman. It's Gottman. And he has actually scientifically researched longevity in couples. And he's really scientifically broken down what seems to work for a long-term relationship and what doesn't seem to work. And it really boils down so much to communication. So yes, oh my gosh, it's so important, healthy communication. Yes, Wendy says there is no such thing as a conflict-free relationship. If there isn't, someone is lying. Oh my goodness, drop the mic. Yes, absolutely. There are two people, right? There are two people. People are different. There's going to be disagreements. There's going to be different ways of seeing things. The only thing we can do is decide how do we choose to move through conflict. So important. Okay. And so this seventh point here about honoring that the truth always serves all is, this has been a really big growth point for me. It is not always easy to really speak your truth in your relationship. I know it has not always been easy for me. I have had a lot of fear of abandonment. I have had a lot of fear if I speak my truth, what's going to happen. But I land always that the truth must be spoken. And of course, how we speak it is really critical. Not reactively, but once we are peaceful and grounded, and once we realize, okay, this really is a truth. This keeps coming up for me. I keep feeling it. This really feels like something that must be communicated. And it will always serve both people in the end. And we're going to talk more about that on day 7. Okay. 3 more practices here, and then we'll talk about today's practice. The 8th practice is radical ownership and accountability for each partner. Okay, this is big. This is big, 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 big. Especially right now, as we awaken, as our shadow is coming up, as each partner likely is moving through their own stuff, and as each partner likely is getting triggered by the other partner, right? And this is perfect. This is on the spiritual level exactly what is supposed to be happening and is happening for our highest and best. It's how we get triggered. Our stuff comes up, our shadow, we look at it, we feel it, we release it, we move it through, we're free of it. So you and your partner are helping each other so much on the spiritual level. So much. Beautiful. On the human level, it can be very challenging. We can feel hurt by our partner. We can feel, oh my goodness, my partner did this. Now I'm feeling this. Oh my goodness, how could they do that? Okay. So, what we're talking about here is radical ownership and accountability for our own stuff, for our own trauma, for our own triggers, for our own feelings that are coming up. So, and we'll talk a lot more about this on day 8, but basically, really, really, really being very clear, okay, this is your stuff, this is my stuff. And there's going to be some stuff that we have together to work out and talk about. But there's going to be some stuff that's just my stuff to deal with. There's going to be some stuff that is just your stuff. There's three fields here. 3 fields: mine, yours, and ours. And we must be very clear and accountable for what is ours and what is theirs. Okay. Just 2 more. Number 9 is really paying attention to how your partner is treating you. Really, really paying attention. Taking off any rose-colored glasses. This has been a really big learning for me. Just the way my personality tends to be, I tend to be very other-focused, very focused on being loving, very empathetic, very much wanting to help. Those are all great. And that's very much a God self orientation's beautiful. But to be really self-loving, we also have to really pay attention to how we are being treated and to be really truthful about what is acceptable, about what is desired, about what is needed by you. So really, really paying close attention to how you are being treated in your relationship. And then the 10th practice that we'll talk about on day 10 is this has been really, really helpful to me. This is the practice of, so for instance, I have kids. I know a lot of us have kids. This is the practice of basically other people as your litmus test. So for instance, my kids are seeing my relationship. It's often long distance, but sometimes my partner is here in Nashville with me. But my kids overhear my phone conversations with my partner, if we're on Zoom together, or if we're texting, or of course, if we're in person. They are witness to all of it, right? My kids. And it's been really helpful for me to think about, what are they seeing? Just like a different pair of eyes. What are they seeing? And having this perspective has really helped me identify areas in my interaction with my partner that are not highest and best. Because I might kind of overlook something. I might just overlook something. I might not see it. I might have a blind spot. But I can see how my children are seeing my relationship. And I can see, oh, you know what? That's not healthy. What they're seeing is really not highest and best. I need to make some adjustments here in my relationship. So, and you don't have to have kids to be able to do this litmus test. It can be, what are my friends seeing about this relationship? What are they experiencing around me and this relationship, or my family members, or my coworkers, in the way that I talk about it, in what I share? What are they seeing? And really using this as a litmus test of, what may I be missing in my relationship that I'm not really seeing? So that is our day 10 practice. Wendy says, once words pass your lips, they cannot be erased. Yes. So much of healthy communication is becoming masterful about closing our mouths. Really. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's about really working to not be reactive, right? And often that just means we need some space. We need a timeout. If things are starting to heat up in a conversation, to excuse yourself, to wait to speak until you are not reacting, until you have found your center, your balance, your presence, and you're not likely to say things that, yeah, you regret. I know I've said so many things in the heat of the moment, in reactivity throughout my life. I think it's decreasing. I hope so, but it's something that I continue to work on reducing my reactivity with my kids as well. So thank you so much, Wendy, for sharing all these great comments. And yeah, let me know how all of this is landing for you. So those are the 10 practices to really, really, really help facilitate our own self-love in relationship. So now let's just talk more fully about practice number 1, since we're on our day 1. I love this practice so much. Okay, so this practice is fearless, radical commitment to your own happiness. And I said in the beginning, how does that feel? If you feel like saying it with me, can we say it? Fearless. Oh, we can say I commit if this feels resonant for you. I commit. Oh, wait. Yes. Okay. I commit, or I have fearless, radical commitment to my own happiness. Or how about I embody? I embody fearless, radical commitment to my own happiness. I just want to keep saying it. It feels so good. Can I say it again? Do you mind? I embody fearless, radical commitment to my own happiness. Oh my gosh, I'm writing this down. That's my mantra today. I embody fearless, radical commitment to my own happiness. That feels really great. That feels really, really, really great. Debbie says, I'm getting better at closing my mouth, waiting, replying with love instead of reacting and walking away from non-loving communication until all have calmed their storms. Thank you, sister. You speak great wisdom. Yes. Huge, huge. This is huge discipline, really. It's really just, it's discipline with ourselves, right? Sometimes, we want to say the thing. We want to say, we want to react, right? There's a part of us that wants to, that's in pain, that wants to defend, that might want to lash out, might want to blame, criticize, all the things, right? There's a want to there. But how masterful is it when we can take a step back and relax and take a walk. I love taking a walk. Taking a walk is one of my favorite let's get out of reactivity states. Taking a walk. I'm going to go take a walk. I'm going to go cool off. I'm going to go take a walk. So yes, sister, you are speaking the truth. Closing my mouth, waiting, stepping away. So true. Okay. So this first practice, I'm going to say it one more time. I can't stop saying it. I embody fearless, radical commitment to my own happiness. That feels amazing. That feels amazing. I think for me, part of the reason this feels so amazing to me is that I think I was so heavily socialized into the idea of that first of all, I must be in a relationship with, in my case, a man, because I'm heterosexual, that a relationship is what's going to bring me happiness. Basically, the idea that my joy is outside of me. It's not within me. So I was just very much, I would say, brainwashed into this orientation that I need to have a man in my life, that uh, it's going to be a Prince Charming type situation where he comes in and everything is great, and that my happiness is very much wrapped up in him and our relationship. Yeah, that doesn't work. That is not the case. No one is coming to save us. We save ourselves. We are our own hero. Our happiness is an inside job. We can embody a fearless, radical commitment to our own happiness in whatever form that takes. It may be in relationship, it may not. Who knows? We'll see, right? So when we just really come back to our own commitment, to our own happiness, regardless of if it's in a relationship or not, we have freedom. It feels so free. I am going to focus on my own happiness. What brings me joy? What makes me happy? It just taking our eyes off of this societal programming about relationship being central to your life, about relationship being the savior. That's what we see usually in the Hollywood movies and TV shows and romance books, etc. So taking our eyes off of that story and coming back to the truth that your happiness is an inside job and it is your right to pursue your happiness in whatever way feels resonant for you. At this point in my own expansion, my own evolution, the person I am most wary of upsetting or abandoning is now myself. And that is a huge expansion for me. That is a huge, huge expansion for me. The person I am most focused on pleasing and staying in integrity with and being loyal to is myself. Is myself. Couple of comments here. Maybe just play Hit the Road Jack on your audio device in the background. Oh my goodness. Yes. So to me, this is really a different orientation. In my relationships, in the old iteration of myself, before there was as much self-love, my focus was on, oh, I don't want to upset the other person. I don't want to be in conflict with the other person. I want to do what I can to safeguard the relationship because it's so important. My relationship right now, it is very important. And I do want to safeguard it. And I do want to nurture it and care for it. But at the most basic level, I want to stay in integrity with myself, to not abandon myself, and to privilege my own dreams and my own happiness, basically. So at this point, I have a fearless, radical commitment to my own happiness. And the fearlessness comes in because I am willing to let the relationship go if it is not ultimately serving my overall happiness. This doesn't mean that, oh, we're not getting along, so okay, it's over. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means over the long run, uh, is this relationship bringing good to my life over the long run? Is it bringing good to my life over the long run? And if it's not, then it's time to release it. So I am all in with myself, with my happiness, with what is really truly serving me and my life path. So this is practice number 1, your fearless, radical commitment to your own happiness within your relationship. And of course, if we're just on our own, of course, we have that orientation as well, but we also have it within our relationship. So let me know how that lands for you, if that feels resonant for you, and if you are practicing that, if you're on your own or in relationship. And let me know. So wonderful. Okay, so this is, let's just read. This is great comment from Debbie. I will no longer abandon myself and my own happiness to make everyone around me happy and comfortable. Oh, yes. Drop the mic. Amazing. Yes. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I want to say that again because it makes me so happy to say it. I will no longer abandon myself and my own happiness to make everyone around me happy and comfortable. Yes, Debbie just put in a mic. Drop the mic. Yes, that's exactly the remembrance, right? And when we say it and we talk about it, doesn't it feel amazing? Because we remember. We remember this is the truth before all of our socializations. Yes, bam, bam, right there. Drop the mic, bam, truth. This is a truth moment. We know it's the truth because it resonates so deeply within us. This is the truth that has been covered up. It has been literally covered up by layers of socialization, that somehow you were supposed to abandon yourself to make other people feel comfortable. Yeah, that's not the truth. And that does not serve anyone in the long run. That does not serve anyone. That's called enabling. So beautiful. So this is our first practice. We will not abandon ourselves and our own happiness to make anyone around us happy or comfortable. Our fearless, radical commitment is to our own happiness. And then we model this for everyone else. And everyone else, we want them to have the same commitment to their own happiness. So I know for me, this just resonates so deeply, so deeply, so deeply. I love it. I love what you said here, Debbie. In fact, I'm writing it down. I will no longer abandon myself and my own happiness to make everyone around me happy and comfortable. And Wendy, you are chiming in with such wisdom. You say that goes for family as well. Yes, our children, our brothers, our sisters, our parents, our uncles, our aunts, our cousins. It goes for everyone, right? Our coworkers, our neighbors, everyone. Yeah, it is our right. It is our duty. It is our obligation to ourselves to be in integrity to ourselves, to act in ways that are highest and best for ourselves and that bring us joy. Of course, as long as we're not harming anyone else, which goes without saying, right? So, yes. So, this is our first practice for self-love in relationship. And thank you so much. You're all just adding so many wonderful things here. Yes, Christina, I embody fearless, radical commitment to my own happiness. I just want to keep saying that. I'm going to be saying that all day. I embody fearless, radical commitment to my own happiness. I will no longer abandon myself and my happiness to make everyone around me happy and comfortable. These are really powerful affirmations. I think they're even particularly powerful for women. I think men are socialized similarly, but I think the programming is even more dense for women. That women somehow are here to serve other people's dreams, other people's happiness, and it's easy to get lost in that programming. So amazing, amazing. So excited about this first practice. I know I can feel a shift in me just from the hour we've been together talking about this. There's something really alchemical about coming together and talking about this and saying these mantras and supporting each other, giving each other permission. Not that anyone needs permission, but there's a sense of, oh, okay, I know for me, oh, they're on this too. They agree with this too. It makes it more powerful for me too. So yeah, of course, we don't need anyone's permission, but it's wonderful to be in solidarity with each other with these practices and to practice these together, to know, okay, in this interaction right now with my partner, I am embodying my honoring and privileging of my own happiness. Of course, trying to work things out so there's harmony within the relationship, but that it is my right and my privilege to do so. And I know my other brothers and sisters are doing the same. And we are doing this together. We are rising together. We are nurturing, developing, growing our self-love together. Very powerful. All righty. So exciting. Thank you all so much for joining us. We are all self-love ambassadors. This is all part of our self-love revolution. We are going to be starting to do events in person in the summer. Super exciting. Cannot wait to just continue expanding on our self-love revolution. And tomorrow, we will be here again, same time, same place. And please, if it's resonant, please invite anyone you know into our You Are Your Own Hero Facebook group, so that if you feel like, oh my gosh, this family member of mine, this friend of mine, I know this self-love would really, really help transform their lives, please invite people in. Our self-love revolution happens one person at a time. We touch each other with our own self-love and sharing our self-love practices. And tomorrow we will go into days 2 practice, which is you and only you are responsible for your life. So much love, of course. Love, so much love to everybody. So many blessings for all of us on our self-love journeys and our self-love revolution. See you all tomorrow. Mwah. Love you. Bye.